Hey, so what's going on, guys? How you all doing? This is Project 939 here, bringing you another Professor Execute gameplay, and today we are playing some Battlefield 3, doing some team deathmatch on Carg Island. This is post-patch gameplay, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my initial impressions of the patch itself, whether I think it's good or not, whether I think it's bad, and we're also going to be mentioning a few little things as I go along, some points that I'd like to make to do with the topic itself. But before I begin, I just want to say a really quick thank you for the continuous, even to this moment, support of the previous video I put out, which was a Battlefield 3 premium trailer analysis, and yeah, it got like quite a few likes, a lot of comments. You know, there were people debating on it and stuff like that, which is what I like to see, and I think I gained a few subscribers from it. And you know, some people, a few subscribers isn't really anything, but to me that means quite a bit. And once again, I'd like to say thank you, but I dwelled on that a little too long, and now I'm going to push on to the topic at hand. And I just want to make a quick point that before us begin, just so things don't get confusing, I'm going to call, so basically there was the patch a while ago that really bumped up suppression. That's going to be patch 1, and the one that we just had is going to be patch 2, just for the purpose of this video. Now, what I noticed with patch 1 was there were a lot of impressions videos on it, and a lot of people sharing their opinions on it. And I've noticed with patch 2 there's been a lot less, and I think the main factor to do with that is the fact that the patch allowed the implementation of Battlefield Premium and a lot of new features that have got people interested and preoccupied wondering about those. And I think the patch itself and the features that the patch had in offer for the gameplay went over the top of quite a lot of people's heads, including mine. Well, it didn't go completely over my head, obviously, as I'm doing this video now, but I think I was paying a lot less attention to it as I was with patch 1. And looking back now, and I only started really looking at how the patch affected the game about a day after I downloaded it, which you know, it seems a bit weird, but that's just how it was, because I was kind of preoccupied looking at the Battlefield Premium and all its features, and I kind of forgotten about the actual patch itself. And you could argue that Battlefield Premium is part of the patch, as the patch allowed it to be implemented in the game, but you know, I haven't actually got Premium yet, so I can't really review on it. I'm hoping to get it soon, but from what I've heard, it was pretty good, and it will save me money, and I am looking to get all the DLCs, but that is a different topic, and I have keep going off topic. So my initial impressions with the patch itself and how it affects the gameplay and not the game, that's important. Now, with patch 1, we're going to go back to, that was basically the patch that really buffed up suppression, and I gotta say, at first I was a little bit skeptical towards it, as I've said in a previous video, but then it grew on me and I really started to like it. But what I did find is that it drifted away from having kind of not equal gunfights, but like, as you saw there, I was suppressed, but I could still manage to kill that guy. I think before patch 2, I'd have, you know, the bullets would have been going everywhere, but like, in theory, no, I was aiming at him, and I don't see how having bullets fired at you would affect where the bullets from your gun travel. And you know, I'm not talking about whether it makes sense or not, that's kind of off topic, but I think gunfights are a little bit too predictable. Like, I could fire a whole load of bullets into an enemy and he wouldn't really have a chance of hitting me because, well, he'd be getting shot at. And I wouldn't say it was a problem. You know, I was quite a big fan of it, as it was like kind of the only game that I knew that did it, and it did add a new layer of gunfighting to the game. But I do think that it detracted away from the actual gunplay, if that makes sense, because I always think that Battlefield 3 has very, very, very good gunplay, and it's what I think the series kind of pride itself on. And adding that advanced suppression and the hugest amount of suppression, I think it kind of did, as I mentioned, drift away from having one-on-one gunfights. You know, it just turned into being constantly suppressed and not being able to hit anything. But like I said, I did quite like it, as it added a new dimension to the gameplay. But with this new patch, I do honestly think that it's the best of both worlds, and I find that I'm having a lot more fun with it, the game itself, and I'm having a bit more success, I'd say, as well, because like, it does make it easier to shoot people. I mean, it sounds kind of simplistic, but it's true. And I am honestly very, very happy with the patch itself. But that's just suppression. You know, this patch, as I mentioned in a previous video, it has a lot more things. You know, too much to mention all in one. It has like about 150 individual tweaks, I think it was. But I'm just going to talk about a few of them, I suppose. Maybe some of the things it didn't. Now, there are still problems with the game itself. There are still problems that the patch did not address, and I really am hoping that DICE doesn't just like put it to one side and forget about it and think that everyone else will forget about it, because you know, that's not really a way to resolve issues, obviously, and it's not very good for the fan base. But I honestly do think this patch has resolved a lot of things, but I mean, there are still problems with the game. You know, the M26 dark glitch has been fixed, which I'm very, very happy about. But you know, there are still minor issues to do with, like, there's a list that I could make in my head up now, but I'm kind of running out of time, and I think people that play the game itself will kind of stumble across those things, and it is too early to tell if, like, in the previous video, and the patch 1, you know, everyone was saying that the patch was great, but then, you know, glitches started to be unveiled and it wasn't so great anymore. You know, the same could happen with this one. But for now, I am very happy with the patch up until something happens. But for now, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, then please do feel free to subscribe. But for now, thank you very much for watching.